A probe is underway into wholesalers suspected of selling medication to unlicensed non-pharmaceutical shops in Gauteng, and this after raids by the Gauteng Health Department uncovered several spaza shops stocking medicine that's meant to be distributed only by licensed health professionals and pharmacies. And for more on this issue, we are now joined by Soweto community leader, that's Bongani Mdluli. Thank you so much, Bongani, for talking to us. Now, according to the department, shops such as spaza shops are only meant to sell Schedule 0 medications, which are your aspirins. What sort of medications are we finding that they are selling at these non-licensed shops?
Good afternoon, Ntokozo, and good afternoon to the viewers. What is happening in the current moment is that a shift needs to be blamed to the officials that are currently taking in charge of looking, especially from the health department, and not to observe any illegal operation to a spaza shop and stuff. And those medications that are being sold to our people, the community as a large, is that they're improper and not being licensed or observed or authorized to be sold to the human being. So that's costly. It puts the human being into a very high risk, to an extent that the person could just, that is selling, especially those Pakistan, they could just look at the ingredients and they thought probably they can just create that and then mix on their own, and without any knowledge of what actually is being needed for that medication to be sold to people, or preparing that medication in order to be sold to an individual. So with their thought, what's in their mind is actually the issue of money, but not the health of a human being. So in that way, in that instant, it puts people's health into a high risk, to an extent that we shift a third eye of looking towards the situation whereby we're saying, if the government would allow these people to operate in this instant and allow them to produce medication or whatsoever that they produce without that product being licensed to be sold to people, how can they have those guys to sell anything to our people without being licensed to sell that? Especially medication. Yeah. Medication, it's something that an individual will consume. It needs to relieve whatever sickness or maybe the pain that you have. But if they are given an opportunity to sell that without being licensed, it's something of which it shows that this country, at some point, it's failing these people.
Bongani, as you certainly said, you know, it is around the people's health, and healthcare costs, of course, are high, which is why I'd imagine South Africans then turning to these shops. But some of the concerns that, you know, the medical field is bringing up is that when someone is buying then this medicine from shops such as spaza shops, there isn't that dosage counseling, then that risks underdosage or overdosage. Is the community also then talking to government as they continue to investigate this issue on looking back on those people that may have purchased medicines there, that their health is actually not compromised and worsened by those medicines that they would have purchased?
The problem is that in Ntokozo, if you are not well informed and doesn't have the most information, that which will supply you in terms of saying, if I purchase a certain product and probably specifically for a health purpose, will it help me? And how will I see whether it's in danger for me to consume that product in health-wise? So if you don't have any information with regard to that, you just buy with the belief that whatever that I'm consuming, it will heal me, or it will take away maybe whatever pain that I'm having at the current moment. So buying something from me, and then as a shop operator, you have a belief that whatever that is selling to me, it's in a good condition, or it's licensed, or it's approved, or in any circumstances that you may think of. So you don't even think of whether where does this product come from? Which pharmaceutical industry does it produce this? There are people of which they buy medication without knowing what is pharmaceutical industry. They just buying the health product, and then they believe that by consuming this, especially the grandpa, they cannot identify even probably, let me make an example about the grandpa, whether this grandpa, is it the real one or this one is it the fake one? They just consume, and whatever that they consume, they believe it will relieve the pain that they have.
Yeah.
So education to our people is needed. Education our people is needed, not only in a health purpose, but in everything. Because of we kept on buying things, especially from illegal operators, and it kills us. It kills our nation.
Bongani, before I let you go, obviously concerns, because we've seen the effects, just from food poisoning, and then it's the trickle effect of now getting into those pharmaceutical medicines. Are community leaders also speaking to the private sector, who are the actual producers of these medicines, to also come to the party in resolving these issues?
There's a level of addressing issues in terms of whatever that concerns the community. Number one, the community leaders need to speak to councillors and address the issues and say, our community members are being affected, are being killed by these things that we're buying from illegal shops, which are owned especially from Pakistan. Because we saw about the incident that have been taking place throughout our provinces, and this is in an emergency state that needs to be addressed by the government. You cannot tell me that our president is not aware of the situation that is taking place around the communities. And if we address issues to the councillors need to take the matters that are concerning the community to the Speaker's office. And the Speaker's office needs to address it to the provincial office. Provincial office needs to address it to the national office in a protocol that it addresses the issues to an extent that it comes to the ground and assist and rescue the life of our community, because we can't keep on every time we're protesting based on 3 children have died, 5 children have died, and without even stopping whatever that is happening at that moment. Anything that is happening in South Africa, we wait for the situation to take place. That is when we start to fight it, rather than preventing the situation. So our leaders, not only community leaders, but I'm counting the councillors, the mayor, I'm counting the provincial, the MECs, MMCs. They need to gather together and discuss these matters and say, how come these illegal operators, which are Pakistan, end up owning the property in South Africa and selling illegal products into the very same South Africans? And if the child is dying based on whatever that is consumed, and then there's no anything, it seems like to them it's normal. Tomorrow they are opening the shop. Nothing to them, it seems to be an alarming into their heads with whatever the situation that have taken place. It's normal to them because of it doesn't happen to their children.